And good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Brad Johnson here. Welcome to another episode of New Earth TV Live. We're going to have another exciting webcast for everybody today. We're also going to be talking about the topic regarding this particular symbol. Okay? This actually goes back a few years. This goes back to when I was channeling Adronis, and we are going to be doing a topic on this particular symbol and how you can use it and how it's going to be very, very beneficial for you when you decide to use it. All right, so we'll get into that here very shortly. But first and foremost, we're going to go ahead and start off with some announcements. Beautiful, sacred geometrical clothing, apparel, and accessories imbued with spirit source energy to heal, rejuvenate, detoxify, and strengthen the body. Shop now at healingcodeshop.com.
The latest revelation in alternative healing has arrived. The Healing Code Cards. A spiritual technology unlike anything else. Through the power of sacred geometry imbued with pure source energy, physical ailments can become eliminated and detoxified from your body. 36 cards specifically designed to work on the major areas of the body, encouraging natural recovery and increased vitality. Working with the cards are easy, and their healing results are profound. Download our collection of free sample cards so you can experience results for yourself. And don't forget to view our customer testimonials. Our printed Healing Code card deck is available now with shipping available worldwide. Visit our website at healingcodecards.com.
And of course, a reminder that the Mind Deck printed edition is still available. There's been a lot of purchases of the Mind Deck altogether, but it is still available now, so you can go to healingcodecards.com and grab the printed edition of the Mind Deck. What I got from an update regarding the Body and Energy Deck, both of those decks, is that they're on their way. They should be here probably before the end of the month or early May. Again, that's just a projection time. Could be a little bit longer based upon delays. But right now it looks like they'll move in, they may get here before the end of April or early May. But I'll keep you guys updated if I get some more information pertaining to the Healing Code Cards, Body Deck, and Energy Deck as well too. Okay, and private sessions are available, 15, 30, and 45-minute sessions. The 3-question email sessions are also available. Please note that I am booked up until early July. So if you don't mind waiting, you can go ahead and grab a session. So I have a very big booked agenda for these next couple of months. So, but it's all good. I enjoy doing the sessions. And of course, like I said, if you don't want to wait, you can sign up with patreon.com/newearthteachings. Monthly membership is $25, and you are able to access 2 bi-weekly group Q&A sessions. Our next one is next Wednesday. And like I said, they are amazing group Q&A. Have some really wonderful people on there. And like I said, if you want to be a part of it, go ahead and sign up. patreon.com/newearthteachings. And of course, reminder that I'll be interviewing Janine, Tarot by Janine Margot, next week, Friday, April 15th at 11 a.m. Pacific. So New Earth TV Live is going to be next Saturday. I will still be doing New Earth Insights Thursday next week, and then of course my interview with Janine on Friday, and then New Earth TV Live on that Saturday. So again, you can go ahead and sign up. You'll find the link to my interview with Janine in the video description. It's the Zoom registration, and it's a free registration, so you can go ahead and sign up. I'm only taking questions from people who are going to be live viewers on Zoom. Okay, so I've had a couple people emailing me questions, and I'm like, no, I'm not going to be taking any email questions. Please make sure you're just attending the chat, because there's going to be lots of people there, and I want to make sure that the live people get the chance to ask the questions. So I'm looking forward to that. And of course, Telegram group, Brad Johnson New Earth Insights. The link is in the video description if you want to join me with the Telegram group, because I do post updates there pertaining to New Earth Insights and other information. And again, a reminder that this New Earth Teachings channel is backed up on Odyssey. The Odyssey New Earth Teachings backup channel is odyssey.com/@newearthteachings, so you can follow there too if you want. Okay, so before we get into the intervention fleets topic, we're going to start off with some inner practices, and we're going to get into that topic. After that topic, we're going to do a group healing today, okay, because I do want to spend a little bit more time today with Q&A, okay? So inner practices, topic on intervention fleets, group healing, and then general Q&A. All right, so let's go ahead and get into it today. And we're going to practice some heart rate variability breath, and I'm also going to teach you guys another couple of techniques that I have taught before, but we're going to go through them each. So the first thing we're going to do is just take some deep cleansing breaths in and out. So inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth, inhale through the nose, and out, inhale, exhale. And you want to remember, but when you're doing that deep cleansing exhale, it's like you're feeling all of that debris, all that gunk just coming right out of the body and just purging it through the mouth. Inhale, exhale. Let it all out. And now with phase 2 breath, like what you learn in BCR technique. All right, so we're going to just do some heart rate variability breath, nasal breathing, in and out through the nose. And now there's a little bit of a secret that I want to give you guys that I did not specify in the BCR technique. So I'm giving you guys a little bit of an extra tidbit here. So when you're inhaling, feel free to give it a strong inhale. Okay, we're going to do the 4 and 6 just for example. Okay, so 4 seconds in, strong inhale. Okay, and when you exhale, very soft and very subtle. It's like you don't even hear the breath coming out. Now this can actually be longer than a 6-second breath. So if I'm doing 4 seconds in, 1, 2, 3, 4, strongly, then very slowly and very subtly and very gently exhaling. Okay, that's about a 10-second breath. So I want you guys to try that today with the heart rate variability, where you're breathing in strong, and you're just very gently, very softly, very slowly breathing out through your nose. I just want you to count it. All right, so let's try that together now. So inhale strong. 1, 2, 3, 4. And exhale softly. Okay, let's try that for a couple minutes. Deep breath in. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale softly. And let's repeat. Okay, 2 more times. Okay, and relax. Okay, so this is a little bit of a different flow from like what I've taught in BCR technique, where you're breathing in, for example, for 4 seconds in, and then you're just giving yourself 2 seconds longer on the exhaling breath. That works great as well too. But what we're doing with this method is it's more of a tweaked method altogether, is you're saving prana as you're exhaling, and that's very important. We want to make sure we're getting as much prana into our body as possible, and we're expelling as little as possible, because this is preserving the prana as we breathe in and as we breathe out. So as we do that intense, that strong inhale, very, very softly. starting to breathe out. And that again is really going to store the prana in you because your body needs all of that prana. It wants that prana. It's going to allow the nadis to be stimulated so that you're getting all of that prana flow to the top of your head, going all the way down to the bottom of your feet. So that's just a little tweak that you can do with the heart rate variability, which is making your exhale breath much slower, and you will really feel it a lot more stronger than when you're doing the traditional heart rate variability breath. So give that a try. As you're doing BCR technique as well too, give that a try, just doing that very, very subtle breath. And after doing that a few times, your body is going to be vibrating. You're literally going to feel like your body is vibrating. You can feel it here in the chest. You can feel it in the back. You again may feel your hands starting to vibrate as well too, getting very warm. Okay, you may start to feel that down by the abdomen, down by the legs, down by the feet, and the toes as well too. That's the goal. We want to make sure that we are vibrating very strongly with all of that prana flowing through. When you notice that your body is vibrating, this is very important. Okay, please make sure you're paying attention to this. There's a reason why your body is vibrating. Your body is vibrating because you're opening up the nadi channels in the body. Okay? When you're noticing that the body is vibrating, those are the nadis receiving all the prana, and they're actually now taking that prana and it's flowing throughout your entire system. So, a vibrating body equals stimulated nadis. Okay? Do you guys know what nadis are? N-A-D-I-S. Okay? In Sanskrit, they're called flow. That's basically what nadi means. It means flow. But there are energetic veins. There are approximately 72,000. There may even be more than that. But 72,000 nadis through the human body. Okay? These are energetic veins, or like an energetic nervous system. They connect directly to the chakra centers, because you also have other chakra centers that are not through the spine. You also have other chakra centers in the body that are again governing channels, that when they're receiving all of this energy, the nadis and the governing chakra centers as well too will start to tingle. They'll start to vibrate in that way. So that is how you know you're getting really good circulation through your body. That's how you know you're getting all that prana flowing through your body, and that's going to heal illnesses, everybody. Okay? Please do not take this information for granted. Make sure that you're really taking this in. Because if you're feeling ill, if you're not feeling well, one of the best things you can do is heart rate variability, particularly the 4-second and the 6-second, but also this version too. Because you're actually keeping more prana in the breath, keeping more prana in the body, and you're getting that tingling sensation, you're getting that vibration. Your cells are vibrating as well too, because the nadi channels are going through every single one of them too. So it's a beautiful thing. So let's make sure that we're not taking this for granted. We are taking this seriously. You want to be well, you want to feel great, really work with pranayama, really work well with breathing, and really exercise that prana within yourself. Okay, now we're going to go on to the next breath exercise, which again is Nadi Shodhana Pranayama. Okay, that's the technical term of it. Okay, so this is again the alternate nostril breathing. So we basically do it kind of like this, right? So my fingers can't bend too well with that. So it's kind of like this, and this itself is a type of mudra. Okay, so we're using the thumb here to plug the right nose, and then we're going to use the ring finger here to plug the other nostril. Okay, so the right representing the Pingala nadi, and the ring finger here representing the Ida nadi. Okay, so as we plug the right nostril first, the Pingala. Okay, switch. Switch. Inhale. Switch. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Okay. So that's just giving you a demonstration example of working with Nadi Shodhana Pranayama. It's very, very powerful. This is one of the best cleansing breaths that you can ever take that will work with your entire body. Now, when you're doing Nadi Shodhana, you want to make sure that as you're doing the inhaling breath and the exhaling breath through both nostrils, you want to relatively keep them the same time duration of length. Right? So if I'm breathing in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then I'm breathing out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 through the other nostril. And as I'm breathing in through the other nostril, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I'm doing that with the other nostril. So we're basically keeping that 5-second duration between that. The more that you're able to keep it the same, the more that you are balancing the nadis. You're balancing the nadi channels, which we know as Ida and Pingala. Ida represents the moon channel. Pingala represents the solar channel, kind of like the sun, right? So you'll notice, as I was talking about last week, that if you put your hand here and you breathe upon it, you'll notice that the left nostril has a different temperature of breath. It's a tiny little bit cooler, right? That's the feminine channel. That's the moon channel. That's the Ida channel. Okay, and then of course the Pingala being a little warmer, and that is the solar channel. That is the masculine channel. Okay, you can learn a lot just by how you breathe. This is very important. You guys should be aware of how you breathe. You need to be aware of, in that sense, about how your breath is going, how strong your breath is. Are both of your nostrils working? Is it just the left that's more dominant? Is it the right that's more dominant? We want to look into this because there's an entire science behind that. That science is referred to as Swara Yoga. Okay. So I'm going to be talking about that more down in the line in the future because I'm actually involving myself with that study right now. So I'll be looking into it a little bit more. I'll be sharing it a lot more with you guys in the times to come. Okay? But it's very, very important. You want to be aware of your breath. Those who are able to control their prana are able to control the entire universe. I am not being light on that. I am not being figurative on that. If you know how to control the prana within your body, you will know how to control the entire universe. That is a very literal statement. Okay? So please keep that in mind. The last breath we're going to work with is the abdominal breathing. Okay, it's the bellows breath. So I'm just going to stand up here so you guys can see me a little bit better. So I'm just going to do this nice and slow, so we're not going to get too intense just to start off. Now normally we'd just be seating, but like I said, you can't see my abdomen when I'm sitting down. So I'm just going to place my hands just like this. We're going to take a deep breath in, deep breath out. Now remove the hands. Okay, that is 36 breaths. That is 36 repetitions. 36 repetitions of the abdominal bellows breath. Okay, it's also referred to as Kapobati. Okay, bellows breath. So what you're doing is you're seated in a chair. You can also do a meditation posture. You can sit in lotus, or you can sit cross-legged, and you can just start to take a deep breath in, deep breath out, and then you just start pumping the abdomen with those bellows breaths. Okay, the Kapobati. And I would say, just for beginners, maybe start off with about 24 breaths or 36 breaths. You have to kind of pay attention. Maybe you want to start off with 12 if this is very new to you. Okay, start off with those 12 pumping abdominal breaths. And all you're doing is you're focusing on the exhale. Okay, so see if you can do 12, and then move up to 24, and then move up to 36, and see how you feel. 12, 24, 36. If you feel you can do more, Go ahead and do more. With these, I do about 500 of those per day. And they are amazing. You feel energized. Not only does your abdomen feel great, your whole body feels great. And what happens again is you get that vibration flowing through you. What does the vibration do, everybody? Like what I talked about? It opens up the nadi channels, right? You're opening up the 72,000 nadis. That is very, very powerful. Do not underestimate what this breath can do. Breath seems very, very simple, especially if we're looking at this in the Western world. Western world doesn't really think too much of the breath. It's like, oh, okay, it's breathing. Yeah, I'm just breathing. Oh, big deal. I do that all the time. What's so big about that? Well, firstly, without you breathing, you're dead. Without your breathing, your body kicks the bucket. Okay? Do not underestimate the power of breath, because breath is not just breath. It's not just oxygen that you're breathing in. It's prana. Like I said, and I said this with great literal meaning, those who know how to control their prana can control the entire universe. All right? We look at that with a Western mind and saying, well, Brad, there's no peer-reviewed journals about that. This goes way beyond the idea of peer-reviewed journals and Scientific American and all that stuff. This is going back to a science that's well over 10,000 years old, way before the modern science ever had the idea of crawling out of the slime. When you are able to control your prana, you will be able to control the entire universe. You will be able to manipulate any particular form of event that you want. You will be able to attract and repel anything you want when you know how to control the prana. Okay? Val says breathing is an art. Nope. Breathing is life, Val. Breathing is all of creation. This goes beyond an art form. When you are looking into yoga, when you are looking into the inner self journey, this is not an errand. This is not a chore. This is not an art. This is life. This is creation. This is beingness. It goes far beyond an art form, because an art form you can basically just kind of go to and take away. If I'm painting a picture, I can do that for as long as I want, and then I can just step up and walk away. I can't do that with life. I'm always in life. Life isn't something I can just stand up and work with and then all of a sudden walk away from it. We are in life. What I'm teaching you guys here, not only through the nature of yogic science, but also working together with the inner journey, is life. Not art, not errands, not chores, not career, not personal choice, but life. So again, I just want you guys to dwell on those words a little bit more, because I still don't think you get it. And when you do, like, oh my God, I got to do this. This is who I am. This is my nature. We all have this. We all have the ability to control our own universe working with prana. And I mean everything. The people that are in your life, the work that you do, the situations and events that you encounter, the things within your life, opportunities, everything can be attracted and repelled by working with the control of the prana. Okay? Like I said, this is a sneak peek of something that I'll be teaching you guys in the months ahead. Because like I said, I'm just beginning Swara Yoga right now, learning it. And in time, I'll be teaching you more. And all I'm doing right now is just sharing with you guys things that I have already experienced and things that you can start to move into right now. So the breathing techniques that I've just taught you, about the advanced level of heart rate variability, about the Nadi Shodhana, okay, and about the abdominal breathing, bellows breath, Kapalbhati. These are good things to start off with. This is going to help you on your journey. All right? It's worked for me. And like I said, if something works for me, I share it with you guys. That's part of my deal. Okay? All right. So we're going to now move on into the topic today of the intervention fleets. Then we're going to get into some group healing. And then we'll get into Q&A. All right? So, Rod, what the heck are you talking about with intervention fleets? So like I said, today, I showed you this symbol at the beginning of the broadcast. Well, Brad, what's the big deal about that? That's just a triangle with a big line slanted over it. What's that all about? Well, if you guys go to my YouTube channel, and you're on my YouTube channel, what you can do is you just type in Adronis intervention fleets. And when you watch that video, you'll notice that I channeled the entity known as Adronis in the past. Of course, I no longer channel anymore, but in the past I channeled this entity known as Adronis. He's just an aspect of my higher self, all right? And he came through talking about what's known as intervention fleets. Now, when that video first came out, a lot of people were trying it, and I had so many great testimonials of people who saying, Brad, I tried this and it worked. It worked phenomenally. It worked amazingly. Because what is it that we're doing here? We are basically, through our own willpower, through our own connection, communicating with off-world intervention fleets. Okay? Now here's something that I'm going to outline for you, because like I said, a lot of it is in the Adronis video, but there's some updates to it as well too. Yes, the intervention fleets are still here. Now, with the intervention fleets that are still here, you are still able to request them. Now, here's what you are working to request. There have been a lot of people who I've talked to in the past that have been known as targeted individuals. And with these targeted individuals, they will often have implants within their body. They can often have certain forms of technological devices. And a lot of these technological devices are often astral in nature. They may be tormented by certain forms of attachments, entity attachments in that way, or again, they may have some technological gadgets, and it can even be astral in nature, that are actually plugged into their body, and they're feeling this incredible amount of torment. They can feel like a voice is happening inside their head, that they're being told things that they know they would not do. They're going into a lot of fear vibration as well too. And they have no form of relief from this. And they definitely need help. So what I have taught them back in 2016 I should say, 2016 regarding that video was channeling Adronis and him talking about the intervention fleets. And by doing this symbol, okay, this is what you do with the hands. Left hand out, just like that. And this, okay? So you're just keeping your palm straight and you're slanting it over. This is the intervention fleet symbol. Okay, and it still works to this very day. So you can use that as you're meditating, right? So you sit down, you get yourself into a calm state, and you can either form this symbol with your hands, or you can envision the symbol that I just showed up on screen. Now, if you go to the video description here below, you'll see that there is a link to the image of the intervention fleet symbol. Okay? So this basically is a cosmic intervention symbol. It is actually what calls out to the intervention fleets to come in and help you. Okay? Brad, are you serious? Yes, completely. Because hundreds of people have done this throughout the past 6 years, and they have had success with it. So I'm giving you guys just a bit of an update because a friend of mine that's on Facebook was recently posting this and was telling me, or Brad, I've shared this with a lot of people as well too, because it's worked with me. It's removed a lot of implants out of my body as well too. I'm like, great, that's a good idea. And it just gave me a reminder that I've been meaning to do an intervention fleets update video for quite some time now. So it was the perfect reminder to do this today during New Earth TV Live. So Brad, let's talk a little bit more about intervention fleets. How do I get them to come in and help me? So as you're meditating and you're doing this symbol and you're just basically putting out a call, I request the intervention fleets for assistance. I request the intervention fleets assistance. I request the intervention fleets assistance. Okay? And you may even talk about that, what that situation is. I got the vaccine and there's some high spike proteins and there may be some AI in my body and I would like to get that removed. That's what you're telling the symbol. That's what you're telling it in meditation. This is helping to remove spike proteins from the vaccines. This is helping to remove any AI that's in your body as well too. The intervention fleets have the ability to do this. Okay? Now, it's very important as well too, when you're working with the intervention fleets, this is for your personal request only, which means a person has to have that willpower to go out and connect with the intervention fleets and let them come in and help to work together with your body. When you know that there's certain things within your body that are there that you feel incapable of removing yourself, then this is where you call in the intervention fleets. Now, you cannot do this for your mom. You cannot do this for your dad. You cannot do this for your brother and sister. You cannot do this for your husband or wife. You cannot do this for your kids. You cannot do it for your grandparents, your best friend, or anything of that nature. This is a personal call only. Because if they want to do it, number one, you can show them this video, or you can show them the Adronis video back in 2016. That's in the video description as well too. So you can show this to them, right? If they're open-minded and they're willing to do it, great. But it has to come through your will. You are not capable of making that decision for another person. They have to make that decision, okay? So it's very important for you to know. But if you are personally going through, again, targeted individual situations, or again, if you've had the vaccination and you've had a change of heart, and you want to get a lot of that gunk, a lot of that debris cleared out of your body, the intervention fleets are able to do this, okay? Now, what it requires is a very sincere, serious connection to the intervention fleets. You got to take this seriously, and you want to make sure that you're very sincere and you're very committed to when the intervention fleets come in the middle of the night, often when you don't even realize, and they will come in and they will extract a lot of that debris that is contained upon the body through your request. The more sincere and serious and dedicated you are to this, the greater the success of the intervention fleets coming in, lending you a helping hand. Okay? It does not work for everybody because people aren't really serious about this. But if you are serious, if you are committed, and you really want this to happen, they will show up. Okay? I've gotten reports from a lot of people over the years who have watched the Adronis intervention fleet video, and they said, yeah, Brad, a probe came into my room at about 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, did some type of scan on me, and that's all I really remember. I knew when I woke up, I felt completely refreshed. I felt completely rejuvenated. There was some type of probe. It may have been like some type of AI probe or something like that, but it was definitely off-world in that nature. And it did a scan on my body, and after I did that scan, I kind of just fell asleep. And then I woke up a few hours later, and I just felt super refreshed. I felt amazing. I could feel like that pain that was there is no longer there. I could feel like that loss of vital energy was not there anymore. The intervention fleets came in and they helped me out. Okay? This is what I've gotten quite a few times throughout the years pertaining to the intervention fleets. Now, the intervention fleets both have human beings and off-worlders on board these ships. Okay? These ships are highly technological. Now, we could also understand that if we were able to go on board these ships, these would be the ships that would have the advanced medbeds. Okay? They would be like the SSP medbeds that could actually regrow limbs and do all kinds of great technological healing assistance on us. But basically, the intervention fleets are able to come into your dimension of reality through your strong intention for them to come through and help you. So like I said, you may notice that as you're just going to sleep, you may get a feeling that there's an intervention fleet. Either it could be a technological device or it could actually be a liaison. Right? There could actually be a projection of a liaison that comes into your room and just helping you out in that way. There's many different ways about how this comes about because intervention fleets come in different forms of shapes and sizes, and everyone really has their own appointed intervention fleet within their reality. Right? But a lot of people don't believe this. People just think, oh, Brad's just talking a bunch of gunk here, and that's it. No, I mean, this is very real. But the people who have been doing this have been working together with this symbol, and they've been calling in the intervention fleets. They've been getting assistance. And because, like I said, that video was done back in 2016, and here we are in 2022, with a lot of people worried about vaccinations, the intervention fleets also have the technology to remove any particular form of obtrusive degree of vaccination within your body. Okay? The spike proteins, AI, nanoparticles, nanobots, anything of that nature can be completely removed. So if you feel like you are struggling, you realize you had the immunization, you had the poke, and you've been doing a lot of supplements, you've been doing a lot of this work, and not thinking like you're getting anywhere, then this is where I suggest you just go into meditation, you get yourself quiet, you do this symbol, okay? Or you can print it out and just look at that symbol as well too, and saying, intervention fleets assist me. Intervention fleets assist me. Intervention fleets assist me. I've had the vaccination previously. I feel like there's a lot of debris inside my body that can be very, very harmful. I would like to have this removed. Love and blessings. Okay? There's an example right there. Just state your intention. Say, intervention fleets assist me 1, 2, 3 times. Okay? And then state your intention. What do you want the intervention fleets to do for you? After that, conclude. And now you go to sleep and you just let yourself wander off into sleep. And like I said, you may see something. You may have a probe that comes into your room. You may have a liaison that comes in, and they're basically just doing a scan. They may also just be comforting you. But a lot of the times they basically just zonk you out. So what happens is they're working together with manipulated time. So they may spend a certain amount of time together with you. And then afterwards, you get zonked out and you feel like maybe you've only seen it for 2 or 3 seconds. You have a familiarity that something was there, that there was an off-worlder that came in my room. There was some type of spherical or diamond shape or rectangular probe or something like that coming into my room, scanning my body, and now I'm completely better. I feel amazing. Thank you, thank you, thank you, intervention fleets. Okay? That's why they're here. These intervention fleets are here by the millions. Okay? Means there are millions of intervention fleet ships above the earth right now. Okay? All in their own bubble dimensions. So again, of course, nothing in regards to our current technology could ever pick them up. They're literally existing in different dimensions. It's, again, just through the power of thought that they can uncloak their vessel, and it's through their intention that they can work together with you because they hear your call. We all have our own intervention fleet assigned to us. Every single one of us. Even if you believe it or not, doesn't matter. You have your own intervention fleet. Okay? And they will help you. If you're sincere, and if they again scan and saying, yeah, this is not something that he or she could remove on their own. So we'll help them. Okay? If it is something that they scan and saying, no, I feel like this is something he or she will be able to remove on their own, then they may just withdraw. Right? And you may just get intuitive guidance and saying what you have, you're able to release. Right? And then you'll get the impulse, you'll get the thought forms necessary to help clear that out altogether. So it all depends. It all depends upon the severity of one's situation. Now, the intervention fleets is not here to play a game with you. This is not for entertainment. You are greatly suffering. You are going through a very urgent, emergency-based situation. And that is what they respond to. They are not here to come down and have tea and coffee and biscuits with you. So please do not take this for granted. If you have an emergency, urgent situation where you have exhausted every other attempt and saying, I got vaccinated and I'm trying to get this debris out of me, I feel sluggish, I feel exhausted, I feel like my liver's not working properly, and I need help. That's where we go to the intervention fleets. Okay? So with an emergency, urgent request, and you're putting that intention out wholeheartedly, genuinely wanting to have that contact with the intervention fleets, because like I said, 9 times out of 10, they just send probes. And they just come into your room, they give you a scan, they discover what's in the body, they clear it out. And then they manipulate time. So you may just have kind of a faint awareness, saying, was that a dream? Was that a dream I had? Or is that actually in my awoken state? And I've had people come to me as well too. So, Brad, I can't remember if this was a dream or what, but I feel like, I had a probe or I had like a liaison coming into my room and she was just comforting me. And that's all I remember. But it just felt like a dream. I couldn't tell if it was real. I said, no, that's an intervention fleet experience for sure. So it's meant to feel that way because they're not disturbing the personal will of the person, right? You have to make sure that you're grounded here on Earth. You got work to do here. So they don't want to intervene and cause any disruption. And they want to make it look like what you've just had was like a dream. That's how they portray themselves. Because there's a hands-off policy pertaining to quarantine and pertaining to intervention. So they do it very discreetly. And you may just have a faded memory or the feeling of a dream that a probe came into your room, that an off-world liaison, maybe looking very human-like, came into your room and was comforting you. and then you woke up and you feel better. Okay, I've had a couple of experiences like that, not directly from the intervention fleets, but more directly just from spirit, where I've woken up and I just felt completely reborn, renewed. I felt like I was just laying down in a beautiful enchanted meadow, and I felt like I was just literally in a new body. It felt amazing. This actually happened about 1.5 years ago. It was really, really wonderful. But it wasn't through the intervention fleets, it was through higher spiritual order. But again, the intervention fleets are here and they can help you. So again, that's how you do the symbol with your hands. And again, if you want to download the symbol right now, just go down to the video description. You'll see the intervention fleet symbol link. Just click on that and you can download intervention fleet symbol and you can start working with them right away, again, if it's an emergency. All right. So thank you guys. That's what I wanted to share with you. Yeah, we're not inviting them for tea, coffee, and biscuits. That's the very important thing here. All right. So, so I know there's some people asking questions as well too. I just ask you guys just to hold your questions for now. Okay. If you have questions there already, that's fine. But we're going to get into Q&A here very, very shortly. I just want to do a group healing with you guys first, and then we'll get into Q&A, and I'll take some questions. So if you have questions about the intervention fleets, about the symbol, or anything else, just hold your question right till we get to Q&A, and then we'll take a look at it. Okay? All right. So group healing time, guys. So just get yourselves getting dyslexia this morning. All right. So get yourself into a relaxed, comfortable position right now, making sure your body, your spine is nice and straight. You can place your hands upon the center of your chest if you wish. We're going to take 3 deep cleansing breaths. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more time. Inhale. Exhale. Okay. Now we can place our hands in prayer posture. Now during this point, if you feel like you want to request this healing for a family member or a friend, then you can do that now. Just saying, this healing that I shall receive will be given to my family member, my friend, so forth. Okay, so you can put that intention in right now. Okay, so if this healing is for yourself right now, I just want you to take a moment just to scan the body, just like the intervention fleets would. Okay, so scanning your body from the top of your head, going all the way down to the bottom of your feet. And just being aware of any tension, any rough patches within your body, any conflicts, anything that's coming in, any stiffness, any aches, any pains, okay? And what I want you to do this time is I want you to imagine a clear ball, okay? I want you just to have with your hands in prayer position. Just imagine that there is a clear ball inside your chest where your hands are here in prayer. And with that clear ball, I want you to send everything that represents that conflict and debris directly into the clear ball. So the best way to do that is to see the debris as black liquid, kind of like a black tar-like liquid, right? In areas of your body that are compromised with bad health. So if you have a headache, then you're basically just looking in your brain right now, and you're kind of feeling the point to where the headache is the most severe. And now you're just intending that headache seen as black liquid dense energy flowing down the brain and going directly into the clear ball. So the clear ball is holding all of that dense debris in your body. Okay, so we'll just take a few moments right now just to fill that ball with any debris that is in your body right now. So again, just finding any black liquid dense energy representing harsh debris in your body and just sending it directly to the clear ball, encasing it in the ball. Okay. So now that we have done that, we're now going to do the apologetic affirmation. So this is just an affirmation that you can repeat after me. I apologize to my body for being neglectful regarding this condition. I ask for my body's assistance as well as its forgiveness to work together with Spirit to clear away this condition, bringing it into purification and divine forgiveness. And so it is. Okay, so now that we have made that affirmation, and now we're feeling that clear ball filled with all of that dense energy, that black liquid, we're now just going to open up our hands now, and we're just imagining like we're extracting that clear ball right out of the chest. Okay? Now, if this is again regarding your friends, just imagining as if your friends' clear ball here is being held in your hands. Okay? So if this is something for your uncle, if this is something for your dad in that sense, you're just imagining that you're holding their ball for them. Okay? And that's all I want you to do right now is I want you just to hold it like a chi ball in between your hands. And I want you just to slightly hold it outwards. Okay? And just holding it out there, holding it outwards, and just observing the ball there for a moment. Apply. Okay, deep breath in, deep breath out. Okay, so for those of you who are holding the chi ball out, filled with that dense energy in the clear ball, I'll ask you the question, is that energy ball gone? Has it vanished? Okay, if it's vanished, great, you're done. That's all you need. If it hasn't vanished, but you notice that it may have gotten smaller, or there's less liquid in it, or there's just small particles remaining, and you can do this for your friend as well too, if this is for someone else. If you're noticing that that ball is still there, there's still a little bit of debris in there, you're just looking at the ball and you're just repeating again and again, I love you. 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 And as you continue to say that, you're seeing the ball getting smaller and smaller, smaller and smaller. I love you. 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 And then bring it back into prayer posture. Okay? So if you guys notice that your ball has already disappeared, as soon as I went apply, you're finished. You're good. But if there's still that little bit of debris, just do the I love you affirmation and keep doing it until the ball shrinks and your hands are back in prayer posture. Okay? So let me know how it goes for you guys, for those of you who did it with me. All right? It's a very powerful healing technique, and like I said, Spirit just takes care of it. Right? It's all thanks to Spirit. Okay. AW says, OMG, I just screamed from the top of my lungs, scared to death. Well, I hope you're okay. AW, let me know if you're okay. Was that from holding the ball, or where did that scream come from? AW, if you can fill me in with that. Okay. Okay. Petra says, yeah, it's gone. Okay. Gross says, gone from one of my ears, not the others. Okay. Well, there may have just been one imbalanced ear in that sense. Sometimes, again, it's about hemispheres, guys. Sometimes we may notice that one hemisphere is more imbalanced than the other. So if it goes out in one of the ears, that's simply how Spirit works. We don't really know exactly what Spirit does, right? Spirit just comes in and clears out this debris, and it may come out in the most unexpected ways that you can imagine. It may come out through your right armpit, but not the left. It may come out through your right nostril, but not the left. It may come out through your left ear, but not the right. Okay? That's just how Spirit works. We don't know what Spirit's doing other than Spirit is helping us to clear, to helping us to be cleansed. Okay? Okay, AW says, when you did something, when I hold the bowl, I'm shaking like a leaf. Oh, okay, I see. So when I did the apply. Okay? So yeah, that's Spirit just taking care of the ball, right? So basically when you're holding that ball out, all I do is I connect with Spirit, apply, and Spirit just absorbs it. It goes back into the permanence of being. Other than that, we don't know where it goes after that. It just goes back into the permanence. Right? But I'm glad that it's released you. So AW, if you're shaking like a leaf, I want you to take some deep cleansing breaths right now. Okay? So AW, take some deep cleansing breaths. Just breathe it out. Breathe out the shakes. because to me that seems like things that you are trying to release were very deeply penetrating into yourself altogether. All right. So as you're breathing as well too, as you're just exhaling all of that shaking, after about 5 or 10 of those, I want you to do the heart rate variability again. Okay. So just breathing in 1, 2, 3, 4. Breathing out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. As you're breathing in and out through the nose, as you inhale, you're breathing in spirit light. Okay? As you're breathing in the spirit light, you're feeling it going into the body, and it's taking care of the internal shakes. Okay? So do those deep cleansing breaths, about 5 to 10 of them. Then switch to heart rate variability and just relax yourself. Breathing in the light, breathing out the spirit light. Breathing in the white spirit light, breathing out the white spirit light. Okay, and just keep doing that until you feel completely calm. All right, and you'll be fine. We just want to bring that spirit light energy into ourselves, and that's going to help soothe any debris that remains. Okay? Okay, Elizabeth says, my headache became worse. Okay, well, Elizabeth, it's because you're holding on to other things. You're holding on to some emotional energy. So when we're looking at the black energy dense, the black liquid dense energy, guys, it's not just the idea of some material thing. Okay, you have to remember that headaches are linked to emotional distress. They're linked to emotional atrophy. They're caused by emotional conflicts. So Elizabeth, what I would like you to do right now is I want you to go back into that clear ball, and I want you to look into any emotions, right? So stress, anxiety, panic, tension, that are related to that headache, and I want you to bring that directly into the ball. Okay, and as you're bringing that into the ball, I want you just to say, I am able to let this go. I'm able to let this go. I'm able to let this go. Okay, so headaches are stress headaches. That's what they do. They're caused by stress. They're caused by tension. Sometimes they're caused by dehydration. That can happen, but more so, they're connected to your emotional body. Okay. So Elizabeth, when you notice that your headache becomes worse, you're trying to pull out the material debris, but you're not actually being able to forgive the stress emotion behind it. That's what we have to forgive first. BCR technique helps you with this. But like I said, Elizabeth, if you just follow through, right, just imagine that all of that stress, all of that tension is being put into the ball. And again, we're just saying, I'm able to let this go. 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 Okay? And I want you just to keep saying that until that ball starts to shrink within you. I'm able to let this go. I'm able to let this go. I'm able to let this go. Elizabeth, if you're still having problems, you can drop me an email, and I'll be happy to work with you further. Okay? So we got to remember that, guys. A lot of the debris that we have in the body is emotionally connected. So when we're doing that apologetic affirmation, we want to make sure we're doing that with sincerity. Okay? So we're saying, I ask for my body's forgiveness. So when I'm saying that, everything that I'm going through, physically, mentally, and emotionally, is being forgiven. Right? And I really mean that. I said, I apologize to my body for being neglectful. I ask for my body's forgiveness and its assistance. Very sincere. It's like the intervention fleets, guys. We got to take this seriously if we want to liberate ourselves. We want to be sincere with ourselves. Okay? Yeah, Ginger says, I feel lighter. This is from Mush. Something troubling just went away when the blow happens. Seems it went back to where it came from. That's an entity attachment, Mush. Okay? A lot of you guys have entity attachments. Okay? It's no surprise. I've had them in the past myself. Okay? It's very common for entity attachments to be nested in the body. Okay? They can nest inside organs. They can nest inside glands. They can nest inside different areas of the body. But when spirit is coming together, they can't run. This is where it's being purged out. Okay? And a lot of entity attachments will nest themselves directly into the organs, and they will start feeding off the vital energy. They'll start feeding off the prana within the organs. This is why we feel like we wake up, we're awake for a little while, and all of a sudden we get drained. Okay? One of the very common effects for that is entity attachments. Okay? It's because we are emotionally compromised, right? Our emotional compromise is the first thing foremost. And as that's radiating for quite some time, over a span of years, you will attract certain entities. Because as you start walking down the street every single day, you're meeting these people who also have entity attachments as well too. And if you're meeting somebody who maybe you don't know, but they have a similar condition, that entity says, oh, well, here's a fresh victim. And they just jump right into your vital body. Sometimes it can come through the form of an argument. Sometimes it can come through the idea of being stressed out in traffic. Sometimes it can come through the idea of just a person looking at you in a very aggressive way in that way. It can come from arguments from family members. It's often caused by some type of bitter, harsh situation. And those entity attachments can go into you. Okay? So this is why we want to try and flush that out quite commonly. This is why we're doing something like the BCR technique, and we're putting love energy through the body, and it's helping to clear away any attachments that are there. There's so much complicated stuff that happens in our bodies, everybody, that medical science is not even close to understanding. Okay? But when you start looking into spiritual medical understanding, then you're able to get it a lot more. I know this because I've removed a lot of entity attachments from people over the years. Okay? And this happens. It's no more different than as if we're going outside in a busy city and we're breathing in these small particles of metals into our body. It happens everywhere. Cars are everywhere. Metals being scattered. You have chemtrails doing the exact same thing. All of these metals are in the air and they're particles. And so that gets into our body as well too. So you do healing just like this. That will help to get the metals out. That will help to get the toxins out. That will help to get the pathogens out. That will help to clear out entity attachments. Do you guys now see why I say it's so very important we do BCR technique and cord removal healing and conflict elimination? We got a lot of debris in our body that we don't even know we have. We may have entity attachments within our body that we don't even know we have. But like I said, entities can only attach to the body when there is some type of emotional compromise happening within us first. If you have a clean bill of health, physically, mentally, and emotionally, no entities can touch you. Okay? It's only when there's compromise, it's only when there's low vital, it's only when there's weakness, it's only when there's harshness. And like I said, they're just as rampant as like the particles of metal within the air. Especially if you're working in the big city, right? You're getting a lot of aggressive people honking at each other and getting aggressive. Entities are all over that. They want aggression. They want hostility. They want that gunk. Okay? So you want to make sure that you're doing a lot of your inner work. As you start purifying yourself, you're not going to be affected by it. You're basically radiating a vibrant field, and they can't touch that. It's like them hitting a brick wall, right? So this is what I suggest as well too. As you do the BCR technique in the morning, you're filling yourself with that love energy, and that love energy becomes like a veil. You're feeling good inside. Entities can't touch that, right? They can't. It's like hitting a brick wall. They cannot move into that. So I wanted to give you guys a little bit of that extra information because it's come up in the group healing. All right, it's very important. Okay. So yeah, so now we'll go into some Q&A. So I'll go through your questions. Brad Garth said, "Hi Brad, can you please help me and my wife Elisa remove our entity attachments, please?" Well, Brad, you just do the exact same thing I did here in the group healing. Okay. So if you're tuning into this right now, Brad, then what I want you to do is I want you just to rewind and go back to where I was helping you guys work with the clear ball. Okay. Get your wife to do that as well too. This is why I say it's a group healing. Okay. Everybody can do it. As long as you're watching this video, go back and rewind. Do that with me. Okay. As I do the apply, it's gone. Okay. So Brad, just get you and your wife to do that. Okay. Go back into rewind. All right. So let me go ahead and move the live chat here to the screen, the live chat screen. All right. So Marcia also said, I started crying. Okay. That's good. Crying is very important, guys. We want to cry, especially when we're doing a healing. Okay. Crying is a purging. When you are crying, your body is purging all of that energy out of it. It's very, very powerful. It's a good thing. It's lightening you up. It's a purging effect. So, Marcia, that's great if you started crying, right? If I'm going apply, right, all of a sudden that's gone, and you may get very emotional about that. That's great. That shows me, Marcia, that you put some emotions into your clear ball, and you're able to release that as well too. So that's great. Good job. Keep crying. All right. It's very important that we do that. Benice says, I feel lighter in a good way, have more energy now. Fantastic. Now, as I talked about, guys, make sure we don't squander that energy that you're getting. Okay, when you're feeling lighter, you want to be delicate and gentle with yourself. You don't want to just go out and go ahead and run a marathon. Okay, we want to make sure that we're conserving that energy and that we're just letting the body heal. So what I would suggest is for 24 hours, take it easy. Okay, that's what I was about to say before I found some some questions I needed to address first. But after this healing, you're feeling very lighter, you're feeling that energy coming back, please be delicate with it. I know people who just want to go ahead and burn it out as soon as they got, I feel so good, now I want to go paint the house, I want to go on a marathon, I want to go do a triathlon now. No. That energy is for your healing. That's for your body. That's a purification time, and that takes 24 hours. After 24 hours, then yeah, go back to your routine. But today, please take it easy, okay? All right. John Cohen says the banishing ritual of the pentagram and the lesser banishing of the hexagram are powerful tools to clear the environment and the aura for the microcosmic and macrocosmic planes. Yes, I know that too because I've done those rituals. I've done the lesser banishment ritual of the pentagram as well as the banishing of the hexagram. When I was working with magic, going back to about 2014, I would do those rituals in my entire place. And so I would actually banish a lot of energies out of my environment, and I would feel a lot more clear after that as well too. So yes, if that's something you're interested in, just make sure you know what you're doing, right? You don't just go off and just try and perform it when you really don't know what you're doing. But that's magic practice, and like I said, it's all just the same thing. But what I can also say, John, is you can do all of that without having to go through all those heavy rituals, right? The heavy rituals is basically just window dressing. It's fillers to working together with the nature of templates, to being able to work with spirit, to help clear all that out. I'm giving you guys the bare bones golden core here about how to do this very, very simply, okay? So magic certainly works, those rituals certainly work, but we can do it even quicker, and we can do it even stronger beyond those rituals because we want to see the core. What is it trying to teach us here? Beyond all the rituals, beyond all the fillers, beyond me having to wear a robe, beyond me having to hold a wand, beyond me having to have an altar, beyond me having to face the east, right? What is it that it's really just trying to teach me? And if I go into spirit and I do that, within seconds I'm clear. Here's what I can do right now, guys. Okay, I'll give you an example. And you guys can follow along with me if you want. Let's say right now, because I do have quite a bit of technology around me here in my space, okay, and I want to clear out my environment right now. So here's what I do. You can just observe first, and I'll dissect it for you. Apply. Space is completely clear now. I can feel that shift. I can feel that upliftment of energy. So, what did I do? So, what did you guys notice that I did? Let's break this down. Okay? You saw me do this, right? Or Brad, why do you do this? This is me connecting to the heart. Okay? You saw me close my eyes, took a deep breath in, deep breath out, and as I was doing that, I was seeing the floors, I was seeing the walls, I was seeing the ceiling being completely coated with spirit golden light. As I was doing that, I was explaining that this golden light will clear away all impurities within the space. Apply. Okay, that's all I did. What I did took less than about 10 or 15 seconds. Okay, this is what I talk about, guys, is you're going right into the core of the healing. You go right into the core. We can throw away all the filler. If you guys want to play with filler, you can play with filler. That's cool, right? No problem with filler. But for me, I like to get to the crux of the matter. I like to get to the core. So when I'm connecting with my heart, I'm connecting to God. That spirit's domain is inside the heart. I'm taking that deep breath in. I'm just getting myself into a cleansing state of being. And I just envision the walls, the floors, the ceiling completely filled with golden light that will be the cleanser of all impurities. Apply. That's all I do. So when I say apply, when I do this, this is the trigger that is saying it is done. Okay, so when I say this, apply, it is done. And so I do an exhale like that, because that again is the body's expression of saying it is done, it is complete, it is already happening. This is why I do that, saying apply. Okay, that's my trigger word, my trigger event that says this is already done, this is already happening. You'll notice that when I work with the healing code cards as well too, let's see if I can find them early. All right. Okay, so this is the radiation eliminator here. You can't really see it because of the green screen. But with the radiation eliminator, for example, when I'm putting the codes into the card, after I put all the codes into the card, it's always apply and done. Okay, that is my trigger event. Now, some people like it and they want to do the same thing that I do. If you want to, that's fine, but you don't have to. You want to discover what your trigger event is. So maybe after you just envision that and you see everything together, everything is as it should be in your mind, and you're now ready to commit the trigger, that deep breath out is your trigger. That's your trigger. Okay? It is done. That's your trigger. Okay? So your trigger event is that which you are saying it is already complete, it is already done, it is already happening. So that's my trigger event. So again, what I said to you guys, what I did in front of your faces here on video, that only took a few seconds. If we're looking at magic, we have to go through an entire banishment ritual of the pentagram, which takes quite a bit of time. But when you are completely in harmony with Spirit, Spirit's always with you. You don't have to call upon Spirit. Spirit's always with you. And you do this as you learn to live inside the heart. When you live inside the heart, Spirit is always with me. I talk to Spirit all the time. There is never a time where I feel I'm over here and Spirit's over here. Okay? This is why you do not need to look too much at ritual. You don't have to. If you want to use it, go for it. But you do not have to use ritual. You're just going right to the crux of the matter. You're going right to the core because you have that deep, beautiful relationship with Spirit inside the heart. And Spirit is with you always because you are Spirit. And that's what makes everything in regards to reality so delightful. All right? So just keep that in mind, everybody. Okay, so let's go down the list here a bit more. Okay, this one here is from Sean Reichak. Sean says, "Hi, Brad. I recall your video about Sasquatch. Could you tell us what you know about Dogman, which is often seen in the forests near Sasquatch? Much appreciated." Dogman. Okay. I haven't actually personally looked into Dogman, but what I'll do is we'll use the cards for this, and we'll take a look at the Dogman entity, okay, and just see what information can come out. I'm pretty sure there's Dogmen, but we can look at Dogman. Now, basically, from what I'm just getting from Spirit off the bat here, is that these are often interdimensional creatures that will come into, that will often open up gateways. They will come through gateways, and they will spend a short amount of time in this realm, and then that dimensional gateway will pull them back. So it's like they're going in, they're having a little bit of an exploration because they are only able to move around a certain container space, which means they need to perform certain types of ritual magic to actually open a portal into their own space, and they may actually just come here to feed on something. They may hunt an animal down and basically feed on it. And after it's done its feeding, it goes back into its interdimensional gateway. It's pulled back. So it's basically on a type of borrowed time. And if you work together with something like a pentagram, or it can be any other forms of geometric energy, or geometric symbol, I should say, and you're able to cast that spell, what you're doing is you're now opening a bubble in between that being's world and our world. And they're able to step in through that like a mirror, and they're only able to go within their container. Okay, so same thing with werewolves as well too, guys. Yes, guys, werewolves actually do exist. Okay, I've actually talked about werewolves. It's a long time ago, but they do exist. Okay, and so they are only able to walk around their container. So if there happens to be an animal or anything else, whatever it is they're attempting to do, that's within their container, that's something that they can hunt. They take it out, and once they're done, they can leave their container. Okay, so that's one idea of how it is. A lot of it has to do with sorcery. Okay, when you're looking at dogmen, when you're looking at werewolves, these are sorcerers. These are mages. Often they are dark mages, and what they will do is they will bond with entities that will, I guess you could say, amalgamate together with their body, and in their astral form they will appear as some type of grotesque being, because that is the representation of the energies of the entities that are bonded with them together with their astral form. And that astral form can take a materialization based upon the entities that are associated with them. So that materialized form can only operate within the container. So they are making their astral body, often grotesquely created through these types of creatures, based upon the astral entities that are attaching to them to materialize their form temporarily. And they will actually act like that materialized form. They can feed from it. They have an actual living body in that sense, temporarily, until the time is up and the symbol that they use, the swastika, whatever it may be, if it's a pentagram, a swastika, some other form of geometry, once that basically runs its course, because that runs through prana, but that prana is on borrowed time in regards to their associated entities that are holding that gateway open for them, then they will take what they have come to get and they will return back into their dimension. Okay. A lot of it is dark rituals, though. It's pretty nasty. So that's what I can say about werewolves. Okay, werewolves are often caused by sorcerers who bond together with very unattractive, dark parasitical entities, and they're able to materialize an astral body from that sorcerer, and that sorcerer is now able to go through their container to terrorize, to do whatever they were here to do. And again, the entities that are attached to that body are able to make it materialized up into a certain time, to where the werewolf itself will go back into its own dimension after the duration of that borrowed time is up. Okay? That's what I was talking about before regarding werewolves. All right, so let's look at Dogman. So, first question, I'll actually ask two questions about this. First one with the Dogman entity. Is it native to our dimension? Is it native to our dimensional Earth? Okay, and see what the outcome is with that. Okay. So the outcome of this really is that it's very, very interdimensional. Okay. So basically we have the High Priestess. All right. So the High Priestess is basically telling me this is something that is actually part of an esoteric ritual that is done relating to the Dogman themselves. So the Dogman is not native to our dimension. Okay. So this is representing the situation with that. So it's kind of confirming what I'm saying. It's basically just giving a confirmation with what I've said about how these creatures can come together, that they're opening a portal in that way, and that they're not really from this dimension, right? This also feels to me kind of like a magic wand performing a spell in that way. The clouds, right, coming upon the earth plane just for a temporary amount of time. Okay? And then the behind the scenes with that. So it looks kind of cool. With the green screen attached to it. So again, we have the Page of Wands as well too, and that's kind of the behind the scenes secret with that. So to me, it still kind of feels like a mage. A mage, again, using the wand, using the staff, being able to transport themselves from one dimension to another, where they basically assume that form in that way, because the assumption of that form is what's enabling them to perform what they're here to perform, right? So we could have a Dogman, like I said, it may want to get into a fight, it may want to hunt, it may want to do these things because that's the sorcerer's bond together with that type of entity for some reason, right? So it's kind of like how we have spirit animals in that way, right? We may have associations where we also have a Mothman, right? We have a Chupacabra. We have all these different types of cryptozoological creatures as well too. And they're all basically the same thing. Either they are sorcerers or they are interdimensional beings who are able to cast spells to come here to do whatever they're here to do. Or they, again, may just be visitors. All depends. That may have certain forms of portal technology and interdimensional technology to perform what they're here to perform. Okay? So we'll look at the second question right now from what Sean was saying about the Dogman. Okay? So what is the nature of the Dogman? When a Dogman shows up, what does it usually wish to do? So when a Dogman shows up in our dimension, what is its intention? What is the intention of the dog man when it shows up in our dimension? Okay, this is fun. I actually enjoy this. Good question, Sean. Sean gets, so far, the coolest question of the day award. Okay, so there's the outcome, situation, and behind the scenes. Okay. Well, I'm not detecting anything negative. I'm not really detecting anything bad from the Dogman. This is again from the green screen. The Ace of Pentacles. So again, it is just a confirmation, but I'm not really feeling that it's doing anything bad. I think it really just wants to experience the earth plane. I think it's getting a lot of reward of being here in this dimension and taking it all in. I think it wants to have that experience of being in the forests of the earth and being able to have that experience. Okay? So to me, it feels like its presence is benign. It doesn't feel like it's anything harsh. It feels like it respects the land. It respects the creatures that are there as well too. I think it just wants to come to the earth because maybe where it comes from may not be as lush and beautiful as what our earth represents. So to me, it feels like it's here for exploration. It's here for just taking in the sights. It's here for enjoyment in that way. Okay? But an interdimensional being, most definitely. Okay? So thank you, Sean, for your question. It was very informative. I appreciate it. Okay. I just get this random post from Twiggy. Twiggy says, when Brad says apply, my monitors light up. My monitor lights up. So like you actually get the illumination of your monitor. That's pretty cool. When I've done some work at people's houses, actually when I was in Parksville, and I was just talking to the group and I was just teaching them a lot of spiritual teachings, the lights above me would flicker, right? So I'd get like flickering lights just when I was talking. That happened to me in the past a couple of times when I was channeling Adronis. Like he would channel and then the light above me would flicker sometimes. But this just happened when I was just sitting in the chair and I was just talking to them about this spirit communication, spirit talk, and the lights would just start flickering at the same time. So I don't know. Sometimes I wreak some havoc with electricity. What can I say? Okay, so thank you for that, Twiggy. Appreciate that. Okay, so I'm just kind of starting in random spots here on the chat here, guys. So just give me a moment as I look through the questions. This is from Twin Twix 123456789. Question: how can war exist interstellar or on an interstellar level? I thought anything below peace cannot reach space. Well, unfortunately, that's not the case. When we notice that if we're looking at the moon, for example, there's actually wrecked spacecraft that are actually completely impaled on the moon, right? And that comes from a lot of skirmishes coming together. There was another fellow as well too. He would take out, I can't remember the guy's name off by heart, but he would take a group out and he would have night vision goggles, and they would actually be able to look at night vision up in the sky, and they would actually see ships doing interstellar skirmishes. Some of that can be our own people in that sense, chasing away intruders. Some of it can also be off-worlders that are guardians of the earth, and they're also chasing off intruders as well too. And they're actually looking at these ships, and they're actually like firing particle beam weapons at other ships as well too. So no, I mean, it's not the idea of thinking that space is just going to be a complete and total paradise where no war can break out. No, unfortunately, that's not the case. This is why we have a lot of galactic armadas that are through our entire star system by themselves, and they're cleaning out a lot of the riffraff that are here. I've also talked about this in the past, where we're looking at like the Jupiter planetary system, the Saturn planetary system, and there's a lot of skirmishes going on there. There's a lot of infighting that's going on there because a lot of the armada fleets of the Galactic Confed is clearing out a lot of these regressive races. They're actually chasing them out of the star system. They're pulling them off their installations. They're destroying installations as well too. They do it in much more unique ways. They can do it through sonic weapons. They can do it through frequency weapons, right? There's different ways about how it comes about. They're not using any nukes or anything. That's very archaic. But they're using certain forms of weaponry in space to basically take out installations, take out bases, chasing a lot of these regressives out of the star system, right? They're destroying a lot of their ships as well too. Saturn has been a very, very, it's kind of like a beehive. It's like a beehive of regressive activity. Saturn has been their base, and a lot of that has belonged to the Draco, right? There's been a lot of infighting. From what I've gotten over the years, there's been a lot of skirmishes taking place within the Saturn planetary system, okay? So Saturn has been a concentrated area to where there's been a lot of armada fights, a lot of armada battles, okay? It's something we really cannot understand yet because we haven't been out in space in the physical. At least I don't think so. Not from anybody here in the chat that I'm aware of, okay? Is being out in space in the physical, so we really don't know what to expect pertaining to that. So we may assign ideas and saying, well, maybe there can't be any armadas or skirmishes taking place in outer space because it's space. It's supposed to be like a peace zone in that way. Well, how would you know that, right? Have you been in outer space? Have you looked into that stuff? It's not to say that you're right or wrong. It's just that you don't have that. You're assuming these things because maybe you hear it from somebody else who's taken a guess in that way. But from all the years I was channeling Adronis, right, connecting in that way, the times where I've been going through these different dimensions of discovery as well too. No, space can certainly have warfare, right? The good news is that our galaxy is mainly in a state of peace. It's mostly in the outer rim of our galaxy where there's a lot more wars, okay? But I'd say maybe about 90 to 95% of the galaxy is actually very peaceful. When you're starting at the core and you're going to where there is light, okay? Where it just goes to that little rift beyond the light, that dark zone that represents the outer rim of our galaxy. That's where a lot of the riffraff are. That's where there's pirates. That's where there's empires, tyranny, all of that. It really just affects the outer rim of the galaxy. It's not in the inner. But if we're going back many, 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 many millions of years, that light was not as strong as it once was. And it was more into the inner area of the outer rim where a lot of that light wasn't touching it. So wherever that light itself is established, that's really where there's peace. Because that light is not just light by itself, it's frequency. And that frequency is a very high frequency. And where there is high frequency, there cannot be any of that duality in that way, right? But because we're in the outer rim where light has not yet touched us, it will in time. If we were looking at many thousands of years, we could say, that light will start moving in through our entire star system. And then the great majority of our Milky Way galaxy will be engulfed in light altogether. And so, yes, we could basically say that it's almost like a galactic ascension that takes place because the entire galaxy, or I'd say about 99.9% of it, would be engulfed in light. Now, that's a very, very long ways down the road, but that's something that is destined to happen, right? Everything in regards to what we would consider to be thousands or hundreds of thousands or millions of years is a blink in the eye when it comes to spirit. It's nothing. Okay? Same thing with us. We are soul. When we're really looking at all these things, we're operating at a very, very slow frequency here. And we're so used to the nature of time in a linear sense. This is nothing. Oh, Brad, I lived 100 years on this planet. It's nothing. It's not even that. It's not even a blink. Okay? It's not even a twinkle of the eye. We could have millions and millions and millions of years going by, and that's all it is. Because we're spirit. And time does not affect spirit. Okay? So that's what I can share. There's a lot more complications that I could go into it, but I don't think we have the time for that. But no, there certainly is war. War has happened, interstellar. It's happened in different dimensions as well too. But the good news, like I said, is our galaxy is primarily, in majority sense, at peace. We're just in the outer rim, in the fringe, where a lot of that stuff can still take place. All right? Thank you very much. All right. Okay, here's one from Cheryl. Cheryl says, "Hi, Brad. Could you please ask the cards if the evergreen grounded ship will be the big reveal of the little ones trafficking?" Okay. Let's take a look at that. We'll do an outcome reading of that. See how things go. So that is what I asked the cards right now. Will the evergreen grounded ship be the big reveal of trafficking the little ones? Let's see what comes up. Well, basically, from what I'm getting from the outcome here is that, yes, you're pretty much on track with that. So this, again, is the Page of Wands. Okay. So Page of Wands is saying, yes, there are certainly some secrets pertaining to that evergreen. It certainly will not make it to the mainstream media news, though. Okay. It's not going to be known to the MSM. But you're pretty much right on the money with that, right? That there have been some traffic with that. So this is, again, a confirmation. Yes, that certainly has been the situation pertaining to the little ones, all right? And it's already being dealt with. It's being dealt with through justice, okay? So with that behind the scenes, the advice, the good news, I feel like those children are being rescued, okay? The children are being rescued. They're being taken out of that container. But like I said, you're not going to find this on mainstream media. But you're very much on the ball with that, Cheryl, okay? So basically, the answer to your question would be yes. There is a big reveal there, but like I said, I do not think that reveal is going to come onto the mainstream media news, okay? Maybe the alternative stream, but certainly not MSM. But certainly, that's been a situation regarding these evergreens as well, too, right? They're just all part of twisted agendas transporting the little ones, and that's really all I'm going to share about that. It's very, very twisted and despicable. But yes, that is primarily what's happening. So Cheryl, you're correct on that. Okay. John's asking me if I've seen the Tarot of the Golden Dawn. I don't think I have yet. I may have seen it maybe flashing up like through image searches. I don't have that deck goes all together. I have the, of course, I have the Rider deck. And I also have the Robin Wood deck here. Okay. So I have the Robin Wood deck right here, and I have the Golden Rider deck right here, or the Robin Waite deck, you can call it as well too. And I have a miniature one as well too, but I don't use it because I really don't like it. It just doesn't work good with my hands. I got like the little pocket-sized one, but really don't like that one. I thought I'd try it and so maybe it might be good if I'm traveling, right? I have a little pocket-sized one, but no, it just fumbles out of my hands. My hands are awkward, so. But no, I have not seen the Golden Dawn yet. I haven't actually held it in my hands. Like I said, I may have seen like a couple images of it, but not holding it in my hand, no. But I'm glad. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Maybe I'll check it out sometime. All right. Okay, this one here is from Miguel. Miguel says, "Hi, Brad. I'm from the United States. What do you see happening to education after prosperity programs? Will colleges move online? Will work become optional? What kind of careers can we look towards?" Okay, so that's kind of a big question, so I think we'll use a bigger spread for that one. So looking into education once we get into the prosperity programs. And that's a good way of putting it too. Prosperity programs. Let's take a look. Okay, so what is the momentum forward pertaining to education once the prosperity programs are established? What does that look like for the times to come? Let's take a look. Okay, so this is kind of the situation here with the education, which is basically telling me everything that we know about education is going to be going through a very, very significant takedown, right? The education systems that we know today, once we get the prosperity programs in there, will not be that way anymore. There will not be such dumbed down programming, right? So this is basically leading for those institutions that are still around for education. They're going to have a very, very hard time. Like I said, I think there's going to be some exposures in the not too distant future here relating to education, relating to campuses, colleges, universities, and how all of that needs to be reformed. Okay, so this is representing the past. Okay, so there are plans to basically expose a lot of educational institutions as well too in the near future. All right, so that's the past anyways. Those are the plans in the past, but it is going to be coming together in the near future. So we have the hopes and the fears. Well, this is going to basically reshape how we see education. Education is going to be a lot more fruitful. There's going to be a lot more deeper knowledge surrounding education, right? So that's a very good, hopeful card, I would say. In the present moment, it's kind of at rest, right? Nothing's really I would say nothing's really gearing up towards that disclosure yet. They're kind of just biding their time, and they're going to start moving into education as well too. So educational systems are going to be something that will in time be exploited. It's kind of a bit of a delay right now, right? But we are going to see things from a new perspective here very soon. So there needs to be some more balancing out of what's happening into the world right now. It's kind of like what I've talked about. Education is going to be tackled, but there's just a lot of other things that need to be taken care of first before we get to that. The near future, so like I said, education is going to have a bit of a bleak view on it. I think there's going to be some major exposures pertaining to education. I think people are going to be heartbroken when they are seeing, again, some certain scandals that a lot of these educational institutions are doing, right? Looking at, again, look at tuition fees and looking in that sense of the half-assed teachings that students are getting, spending so much of their money having to pay off loans for the next many years of their life. It's not going to be good, right? But the good news is that the situation surrounding education in the near future is going to have light shed upon it. So even though there's some disheartening look at it, it's going to be very, very good for the long run. And we're going to rebuild the educational system. So yes, you're correct. We could be looking at online studies, and we can look into the idea of physical studies as well too. But when it comes to education, right, we have to kind of get out of our complacency. We have to get into the realization that there has been a lot of scandals pertaining to education, and we need to rebuild, and we need to rework, and we need to come together, and we need to start working with fruitful education that's truly beneficial, education for the soul. That's really what's coming. It's education for the soul. So I'm thinking probably within the next few months, we may start to see this happen. So maybe if we get closer to the end of 2022, there may be a peak of that. I feel it still needs to play itself out a little bit more. So when education starts to come into that limelight of exposure, I think it's going to last quite some time. Right? So when we're looking at education for the soul, as I call it, we'll probably see that coming together maybe as we get into the mid-2020s. It's going to be a lot of reworking that needs to be done with all of these institutions, and that's going to take some time. So probably around the mid-2020s. But yes, there is certainly online education. There's going to be virtual education as well too, VR education, and there's going to be physical education. But everything is just going to be reworked. We're getting out of those ridiculous loans. We're getting out of all those tuition fees. We're getting the idea that students are basically just being bankrupt for the next several years of their life trying to pay off these outrageous loans. It's complete and total garbage, right? So yes, it is going to be reworked, and it feels like education for the soul is going to be what is going to replace the garbage, the material garbage education for soulful education. So good question. Thank you very much for that, Miguel. Here's one from, I think we're going to take about 3 or 4 more questions, guys, and then we'll wrap up. Aspiring alchemist. Brad, do you feel we need to go through the process of becoming a state national versus being a citizen in order to be fully sovereign and free? Well, again, I'm not too big on politics in that way. I basically would say that a sovereign does not have any ties to it, right? When you're being sovereign and free, you're not really tied to nationalism. You're not really tied to countries in that way. You live in a country, but what I'm basically talking about when I've talked about the idea of being a free man, a free woman, right, being sovereign, comes through the nature of a republic. So I don't feel it has to do anything in regards to the state. My feeling would be more that the state serves the sovereign, right? So that would be the idea. Whether we're doing that right away, I don't think so. It's going to take some time. But a citizen in that sense seems much more like a democratic system, right? When we're looking at a citizen, you're a Canadian citizen, you're an American citizen, you're an English citizen, etc. To me, that is like a shackle. That's a handcuff. So I think you're in the right direction, but it's more about the idea that the state and the government works for the sovereign and not the other way around. That's basically just how I see it in a nutshell. I'm not too sure if that's what you're asking. Like I said, politics is not my thing. But that's really what I'm talking about relating to the nature of the republic. Right? When you're completely as a republic, free man, free woman, when you are sovereign, everything works together with you because you are up here, right? It's the right-facing pentagram. Here we are as spirit. Here we are under God. And that is the true revolution that comes together. And everything relating to governance and state matters in that sense, serves the individual, serves the sovereign, and nothing less. All right. Thank you for your question. All right. Summer rain, I think. Yeah, summer rain is the shift happening right now. Been feeling a lot of purging coming out, lots of crying in the last 2 days. The shift has been happening for quite some time, summer rain. Okay, I won't go too deeply into it because I've talked about it to death. But yes, the shift is coming right now. That's why you're seeing everything the way it is right now. That's all part of purging. That's all part of cleanup, and that's going to lead into something far greater as we get out of this transitional time. So yes, it's been happening for quite some time. And I'm not surprised if you've been going through a lot. Like I said, crying is great. Crying is great for the soul. It's purging. We want that, okay? Lord knows back in the days I was doing lots of crying. Now I'm just doing a lot of smiling instead. So here's one from Mar M. Do you see the med beds ever coming out? Oh, yeah, I know, guys. I get that question a lot too. Even in readings and sessions, in events. Oh, how can I put this? I don't think we'll need the cards for this one, but well, the med beds are going to have different versions to themselves. They're going to have different variations. Some people are really under the belief that within the next couple of months to the next year, that we're going to have med beds that will be so good they will be SSP quality. Okay, I would have to disagree with that. All right, no. So that would be would I say that the med beds are coming out this year that are SSP quality? No. That'll take a few more years at least. The med beds that are looking to come out right now, at least in that sense on a technological level, there's some people saying that they can do like quantum med beds and stuff like that, where you're just putting stuff around the bed, and that's fine and dandy, but I wouldn't really consider that to the med bed that I'm talking about. Some of the med beds that are coming right now are the ones that can basically do their own surgeries, right? And one of the places I feel that's really getting ahead with this would be Japan. Another one would be India. Another one would be Germany. Okay, and I think these three particular countries, I think China may also be into it as well too. Maybe China, Japan, India, and Germany, for example. Maybe some of these countries that are starting to develop medical beds that are able to perform automated surgeries. Okay, that's where it's going to start. It's going to start off in that way. And again, there's going to be other versions and other prototypes that will follow. But for us to get into a secret space program medical bed where you can actually lay down in the bed and it can regenerate your limbs, it can reverse your age. If you're 65 years old, you come out of the bed looking like a 20-year-old. The only person, like I said, who has the ability to pull that off is the person I was interviewing not too long ago, Jared Rand, okay, and the Celestial Chambers. Because I've looked at a lot of these other things that people are talking about with med beds and saying, sorry guys, your leg's getting pulled here, right? So a lot of people are claiming that they're making these med beds, and I have yet to see anything of that nature in comparison to what someone like Jared Rand is looking to create, okay? And he needs millions and millions and millions of dollars to do it. This is not something you can just build in your basement, okay? This is not something you can just build in a home garage. This is something that requires an excessive amount of technological knowledge that basically you would have to get from off-world sources, or if you're deeply connected with spirit, right? Or if you maybe have some very strong advanced levels in quantum science and quantum knowledge in that way. But you're basically building a bed that's almost like a replica of an extraterrestrial spacecraft. That's what it is. You're talking about torsion energy, you're talking about quantum energy, you're talking about tachyon energy, you're talking about magnetism, you're talking about working with different dimensions, right? This is something that's very, very different. It's not just, oh, here's a cool looking cover. Okay, so what does it do? If I go on this cover and I lay down, am I going to be 20 years younger? Oh, no, we can't do that, but I mean, it's a cool looking cover, right? Right? People are looking at these med beds with cool covers, that the outer area of it looks nice, the outer shell looks nice. Okay, but if I lay down on it, here I am 43 years old, am I going to come out 19 years old? No? Yeah. What if my arm's amputated? Am I going to be able to regrow the arm when I lay down in your bed? No? Well, there you go. It's a bunch of BS. So it's going to be a few more years before we actually get something like that together. So it is absolutely possible. But like I said, you're basically having to have the know-how. If you know how to build a flying saucer spacecraft, then you can basically build the kind of med bed that I'm talking about. okay? Because that's what it requires. You would need to have the expertise to build a spacecraft and fly it off the planet, to build the type of medbed that I'm talking about. And there's nobody else on this planet that I'm aware of that can do it other than Jared. Okay? He's the only one. I've even looked into this through Spirit. He's the only one. I know a lot of people boast about their stuff. Oh, bro, this person's building a medbed and stuff like that. Okay, well, let me see a sample. Let me see a video. Let me go talk to the guy. None of that's happened. Okay? So I'm not trying to burst anybody's bubble here, but that's something that's still quite a ways away. Even if Jared does get all the funding he needs, it's going to take several years for him to build even just a prototype. And then being able to give open source blueprints to the world as well too, because he doesn't want any investors. He just wants donors. He wants donators. He wants contributors, because he wants to be 100% in charge of this project. So to me, it might take some time. But like I said, if it's somebody who can do it, it's him. Unless there's another Jared Rand that comes about and they're actually showing me what this bed can do. I'm not just going to be looking at some pictures, right? That's just going to be gullibility. I'm like, no, I want you to show me what this actually does. I want you to bring a person into the bed. I want you to close it. And if they're maybe an elderly woman, I want them to come out of the bed looking like they're 20 years old. Oh, okay, we can't do that. Bye. That's often what happens. So if a person has the expertise to build a working flying saucer spacecraft, then they have the know-how to create the type of beds that I'm talking about. Okay. Other than that, no. These will be very early prototype-like beds, performing surgery and maybe being able to repair organs in time and being able to do all these different things. And as we look at, I don't know, I can't even really guess at it. When I asked Adronis about this, when I was channeling him, he said maybe around 2033. Something of that nature may come about. It wouldn't be quite like an SSP bed, but probably close to 2033. Something like that, to some degree, may come out. That is actually a practical, physical version of a working bed that could probably regenerate tissue, regenerate limbs in that way, and help with the age reversal process. So around the 2030s. And I would agree with that. I don't think we're there yet. We're definitely not there yet. Not while the pharmaceutical companies are still running rampant. Not while you have all of this dark force control upon the planet. All of that's got to go first. So I've talked about this quite a bit. And I'm sure maybe you're tuning into this for the first time, but I've talked about medical beds quite extensively. So it's going to need some more time. I know a lot of people will just want to jump at the idea of getting a med bed. Guys, even if somebody created a prototype, all right? First of all, that's going to take a few years. Then you're looking at manufacturing. That's going to take longer as well, too, to build millions and millions of beds in that sense. And I think that is going to happen at some point, but I do not feel it's happening in this decade, right? Perhaps the next one. So I'm not trying to burst anyone's bubble out there, but I see a lot of people. I've even talked to people like in events as well, too. So, I got this problem, but you know what? I'm going to wait for the med beds. You're going to wait for the med beds? Yeah, I got this problem in my body, but I'm just going to wait till the med beds come along and I'll fix it. And this is what I'm doing. We need to talk, all right? So that's my own perspective on that. And like I said, if you guys see somebody who you think is building a med bed, but I want you to be thorough with them. I want you to ask them tough questions. And I want you to get them to show you things. And say, okay, well, maybe I did some animal testing. Here's a 16-year-old dog that I was able to make into a puppy again. Well, then maybe that's something pretty interesting. Then I'll be happy to talk to that person. But be thorough. Don't just be, googly-eyed because they give you some bed that has like an outer shell that's something out of Stargate. Okay. No, we got to go a lot deeper than that. Just don't get too excited just because beds look cool, because they have some type of shell to them. They have to have that expertise. If they can build a spaceship, then they can build a bed like that. Okay? All right, guys, we'll probably take maybe one or two more questions. We're going to wrap up. Let me go down to the bottom of the list here. Limina says if we get replicators, we can make beds very quickly. Indeed, yeah, we certainly could. That would be quite cool to have replicators. Okay, Okay, here's one from MM1111. Brad, many astrologers talk about the Jupiter-Neptune conjunction in Pisces on April 12th as a once-in-a-lifetime event. Do you see a major shift for humanity on that day? Oh, let's check the cards. Let's see what the cards say about that. I am looking into astrology, but it's Vedic astrology, right? But we don't, in the Vedic astrology that I was looking into, we didn't look into Neptune. We didn't look into Neptune, Uranus, or Pluto. So that's why I can't really say too much about Neptune. So we'll just leave it to the cards, see what the cards say about April 12th in this Jupiter-Neptune conjunction. And is this a major shift for humanity representing a once-in-a-lifetime event? Let's take a look. And this will be the last question, guys. We'll wrap up for this one. So I do have to get going here pretty quick. All right. Well, it's an important alignment altogether. Is it a once in a lifetime? It depends on your perspective in that way, okay? So I think a lot of people are getting excited about this emotionally, but they're not really looking more into the true nature of what this event will signify. A lot of people think that this is going to rain stardust and it's going to be beautiful rainbows and all that stuff, right? And it is indeed a beautiful event. That's what we're seeing pertaining to the event itself in the present moment, right? People are getting excited about it. But as it starts to come together, it's basically saying we got to do more work on ourselves. This is helping us to, again, purge a lot of debris coming from within ourselves. Yes, these astrological alignments are huge. They're gigantic. But you have to remember what everything that astrology is showing you macrocosmically is what the body is already showing you microcosmically. Okay? There's such a thing as microcosmic astrology, guys. Did you guys know that? And do you know what that's called? It's called Swara Yoga. Swara Yoga is the microcosmic astrology. So as you start to learn the science of breath, the science of prana, you're actually able to trace the prana, the breath, the nadis, into an exact point through the breath where you're actually able to understand everything about yourself through the prana. That's the internal astrology, right? And that's actually even much more vast than macrocosmic astrology. But anyways, from what I'm getting for this, like I said, it's mostly that there's going to be a lot of work involved, right? So we have the Eight of Pentacles here, which is kind of like, again, showing that there's going to be some karmic situations coming up, okay? So this is not going to be a pretty event, right? Especially for the majority of people on the planet who are not working with themselves. In fact, this is going to bring about a lot of heartbreak for people, right? So you're right, it's true. It is going to be a very significant event. It is going to be big. It is going to be once in a lifetime, but it's a cleansing event, okay? It's an event of great cleansing. So, like I said, I haven't really looked too much into Neptune or Uranus or Pluto or anything that way because I don't work on that through Vedic astrology, even though it's good and it works. But in the long run, when we start to clean ourselves up, near future, this will bring about great benefits. It's purging all of that debris about that, right? So we're going to be working together with a lot of, like I said, helping us to take a harder look into reality, helping us to show us a very deeper perception from what we're not seeing the lies and the scandals and the deceptions that have been happening first, and people are going to be heartbroken by that at first. Okay, that's how it works. That's how this entire awakening works, guys. I wish I could say, yeah, guys, it's going to be golden stardust and giant rainbows, and you're going to be able to swim in these oases because these events are so absolutely tantalizingly delightful. No, they are going to bring out inner demons. They are going to bring about disharmony in many different ways. They're going to bring about heartbreak. These are all things that are basically trying to shake us out of our delusions, shaking us out of our core. So I agree with you, MM, that it's going to be a once-in-a-lifetime major shift, yes, for humanity. But like I said, it's going to be ugly first before it gets beautiful. For the majority of us, right? For those of us who are doing our inner work, we'll certainly see it as probably a very beautiful event. But for those in that sense who are not doing their inner work, who are just completely consumed by the outer ways of the world and the outer ways of life, no, it's going to be grotesque. They're going to be seeing things. They're going to have to make some decisions. They're going to have to really bring out some responsible decisions because they're seeing how ugly things are getting. because they're not understanding what's happening inside themselves. So it's going to be a grotesque event for many people, except for those who are doing their inner work, and they can probably see the beauty in it, right? So once in a lifetime, absolutely. Intense shift, major shift, yes, most definitely, okay? But it does not happen directly on that date, okay? It's something you guys have to understand about astrological connections. When you're having conjunctions in that way, it's not going to happen on April 12th. It's probably going to happen more around the time of May than April, okay? You got to give it some buffering time. So basically when that conjunction happens, you're looking at the magnetic forces between those planets that are now starting to mix together and creating a type of potency. As that happens, it starts to radiate and resonate like a tuning fork, right? Two tuning forks just coming together in this reverberation, and there's waves that are coming together, and then Earth in time gets impacted by those waves. As they get impacted by those waves, like I said, it'll probably be around the time of May, where we'll feel the reverberations from the effects of the magnetics of those two planets that will come together in conjunction together with our own magnetic fields that will help us to understand more of the purging that we need to take place and the corresponding events that will manifest relating to the vibrational frequencies in question generated through the conjunction of Jupiter and Neptune coming together in this associated conjunction altogether. Okay? Thank you guys for all of your questions today. I really appreciate it. I had to do that kind of in a hurry because I do have to get going. But thank you for today. I really appreciate it. So back again next week. And just a reminder that Friday next week will once again be my interview with Janine, our second interview together. So like I said, on Thursday, I'll still be doing New Earth Insights at 11. And then Friday, the next day, with Janine at 11 a.m. Pacific. Again, it's on Zoom, so you can find the Zoom link in the video description. Check it out. It's going to be another great broadcast altogether. Thank you so much, guys. Take care, and I'll speak to you next week. Be well. Thank you very much for checking out the New Earth Teachings YouTube channel. Feel free to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And you can check out the websites, newearthteachings.com, where you can order a private session, 3 questions by email, EQ method, and a lot more. And you can also check out healingcodecards.com, where you can grab your mind deck, your body deck, and of course the brand new Body Deck Special Edition. All of these are available in digital editions as well. And you can also get a shirt just like this through healingcodeshop.com, where you can experience the healing codes in apparel form. So feel free to check out these websites. Thank you so much, and I'll speak to you again in the next video. Be well.